The following is an original Livin' podcast.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is our second episode of the year, but not only that, it is actually pretty much our home stretch to the beginning, the unofficial start to the 2026 NASCAR season. Of course, the overall race season just started, not only with the Chili Bowl, but, we had the Rolex 24 that happened this past weekend. But that and every other bit of news that we now have, we're going to cover it all on our second episode for 2026, that is, of Gamers Talk NASCAR. As always, I'm Elijah Leonard here, one of your co-hosts. To the left of me, that is Wyatt Walker, and down to the bottom of your screen, that is Slifer, and that is just if you're watching on YouTube. But if you're listening to this on Spotify, hey man, if you want to see exactly what's going on and, kind of all the cool graphics and see our lovely, beautiful faces, you can come on over to the YouTube, the 11 Podcast YouTube channel. And I can definitely say, Wyatt and Sly, they might have a few disagreements there with what I just said, but gentlemen, what a week, first of all, to kick things off. We had the Rolex 24 just this past weekend at Daytona, which honestly I think had a lot of records set for this year.
I can't believe how much of it that I actually watched. It's the first time I think I've watched almost the entire 24 hours. Almost.
Yeah, because you watched about 2/3 of the race, basically.
Besides sleeping, 16 and a half hours of the Rolex 24 that I watched.
Wow.
Damn.
That's wild.
What's even more wild is out of every race, if it's been live when I was younger in El Cajon or Daytona.
Yeah.
I've never seen from the drop of the green flag, 15 seconds into it, already an accident.
I feel like that might have happened before with even outside of IMSA or sports car racing. Remember when NASCAR used to do the Daytona Road Course? They done it for 2020 and 21.
They did that. They did that for only 2 or 3 years. I'd say at least 2. Because I know points wise, Bell got his first win at the road course. Who was the other one? Chase Elliott.
Chase Elliott was the inaugural winner of the road course.
The first one. Yeah, him and Bell are the only 2 winners of that. The only other one, technically, Kyle Busch won the Clash. What year was that one? That
was also 2021.
That was 20. So they did the Clash in yeah.
Yeah, because it's been a while since we've even talked about the Daytona road course altogether, outside of Rolex 24 action, just in the regards of NASCAR, because we barely remember the road course, but it was pretty underrated for the amount of time that we had it.
Speaking of road courses, there is going to be news we'll get on later on about road courses.
But I mean, but getting back to this year's Rolex 24, as I mentioned, this is definitely the year where we had a lot of record-breaking moments. So I'm pretty sure Sly had recorded some of those.
If Connor Zilisch were to have won, or his team, he would have been the youngest winner in Rolex history.
Overall winner.
Overall. Just overall. The Porsche Penske Motorsports went in their 3rd straight, so there is a 3-way tie for a three-peat in the Rolex 24. They also had the highest attendance in history for this year's Rolex 24.
Man, the highest
60
one
cars.
ever.
60 cars started the race. They only had 9 retirees.
Wow.
Felipe Nezer is the 3rd man in history to win 3 straight. He was also Brazilian. They must have had that Brazilian juice, because the last Brazilian to win 3 straight in the Rolex 24. What? You want to take a stab at it?
Nope.
He was part of Project 91.
Oh.
Helio Castroneves.
Hmm.
And the biggest record that this year's Rolex 24 had was the longest caution ever. It's 6 hours and 33 minutes and 25 seconds. Now, I know I told you prior, Elijah, that I wouldn't, play the video, but for everybody that is on YouTube, let me give an idea of what I am talking about.
Yeah, basically look at this.
Well, I could probably mute it, right? Mute it and still do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah. That saves like
look at
copyright
this.
stuff.
This is the backstretch of Daytona.
That is
Can
insane.
anyone find turn
Crazy.
3 or the Le Mans
No.
chicane?
No. You can't even find it until you see like
Look at this.
the headlights dip down. Till you get closer.
This is at the 12-hour and 25-minute mark. That's left in the race.
I find it crazy that they are still.
You still can't even find
still
turn
doing
3.
for 6. They're still like going around for 6 hours under caution.
Well, they had talked about it. Like if they had red flagged it, that might have caused some problems, not with the drivers, but with the cars itself.
Oh.
Yeah.
Obviously, right here is the headlights. I'm watching this on my computer. I'm having to look away from my screen
Yeah.
because I started getting a headache just from seeing them go by like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm starting to get a headache. Looking at that.
That went on for 6.5 hours.
It's crazy.
That was honestly kind of nuts too, because by the time that caution it came out, I was ready to go to bed, and I wake up probably closer to 9:30 ish, and Sly is like,
with it on.
and Sly's the first one into the Discord server and says, "Hey, just so you know, that caution went for 6.5 hours."
They finally went back to green at 7:19 a.m. Eastern.
That's still that's still absolutely crazy to me.
I don't know if this would be like a history thing, but dear God, I think the highest I've seen that we saw, Elijah, was like 108 seconds behind the leader in their respective group.
Yep.
Before they went a lap down.
So essentially, yeah, they were all any of those drivers that were at least 100 plus seconds back, they must have been on the tail end of the lead lap. I've never seen like an 100 plus second deficit and nothing like that ever.
Yeah, I'm going to try to go one of these years though, because I could probably fall asleep in the seats.
Well, be sure to bring like some seat cushions and some pillows with you.
Of course.
Because I'm willing to bet just like trying to sleep in those seats with nothing, just sleeping them by themselves, I'd have to imagine that they're pretty uncomfortable.
I mean, my chair as it is iffy on comfortability. I've fallen asleep in it. Now, overall, though, it was one of the most exciting races I've watched. But Jesus, so just most of the stuff that was going on. Some of the penalties that I've seen. Some loose wheels. Some I forgot which one it was. I think it was the GTD or GTD Pro class. One of the Mustangs. It was right after the Le Mans chicane that they had a problem, and there was fluid leaking. And they showed it that it was lifting the car up to put it on the flatbed, and it looked like a little kiddie swimming pool, and it was still dripping.
Oh my God. That's wild.
Which I don't think I can find. Probably could. Just gotta remember which one it was in.
Bleh.
That's for another time.
That's for another time. Well, speaking of, let's get into some of the actual NASCAR stuff that we have going on here. So a little bit more silly season news to confirm. Two that actually I think came up on the same day. Let's start off with Tony Breidinger, who originally was racing for Tricon Garage, but since then has signed on to Rackley War full time. Honestly,
I thought it was she said it was part time.
was she? I didn't really see anything about full time, part time, especially from her page. All I know is that she signed on with Rackley War. So I don't know what that deal looks like. I don't know if it's maybe like 5 races or
it's 8. I just found it right here. It will compete in 8 NASCAR Crafting Truck Series races.
okay.
Daytona, Texas, Dover, Nashville, North Wilkesboro, IRP, New Hampshire, and Dega.
To be honest, I think for Tony, running full time in trucks last year probably wasn't the move, especially for a team that has, really taken off, like formerly known as DGR Crossley, now Tricon Garage, and seeing what they've been able to do and build and how they've been able to build over the years. I just don't think that somebody like Tony Breidinger, and this is no disrespect to her, I just don't think she would have been able to, continue with the team, especially for the results that she's been putting together. So a part-time opportunity, especially for Rackley War, might be probably like a good backseat, okay, sort of evaluate is the truck series gonna be at least can we give it another go around maybe next year? I don't know what this could be for, regardless of for what reason she signed on with Rackley War part-time. If it's just for a certain amount of races, if it's maybe she's going to go full-time. And I don't know about any other deals resolving in that, but who knows? I mean, I'm thinking that Tony running part-time in trucks could be a good refresher for her.
This does bring me to the question, though. Who's driving the number 5 if the number 5 is even going to be a full-time truck? We already know that the 1 is going to be the all-star truck for Tricon. Of course, one of the big names is Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah.
Jimmy Johnson's going to be driving the one truck at it's the Chicago.
It's San Diego, the naval base.
That's what I meant to say. I don't know why I was trying to say Chicago, but Jimmy Johnson will be driving the one for that track. That's a big name for number 1. But is there going to be a car for the number 5 if that truck decides to run?
That is going to be an interesting question. Who could possibly be a good candidate to take over the 5? I mean,
I honestly don't even see an option.
I really don't either. I mean, unless if you look down from the roster from the ARCA series last year, that's honestly the only thing I can think of. But
I mean, we already got some people who are getting their rookie year. I mean, Brent Cruz is going up to the 19. Yes, he's only missing four races, but he's still full time in that night. Other
Yep.
than that, he's still full time in that 19. It's like that's the only other name. William Sawalich is still in the 18.
Yeah.
I'm assuming Taylor Gray is still in the 54. I haven't heard anything otherwise. Haven't heard no news about that one.
Yeah.
If you just look at the
What the heck?
what?
What is this?
I was trying to.
What the?
But
What the hell?
What?
What
I don't.
the
I don't know. It wasn't what I was supposed to. Hold
So
on.
for audio
Well-
listeners that are wondering what the hell we're confused about, Sly tried to put something in the Discord, but he messed up, and the first caption that he put in was, "Do we even dare say it?"
I don't. I don't think so. No.
It was something. It was interesting, but following that, he also put in some random document thing that kind of
No,
looks like
it
they would come out
wasn't.
of computer coding.
That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
Like computer codes. I don't. We're not gonna say like.
It was kind of funny, actually, of how
It's kind of funny. Yeah.
we caught it. It's just like,
not-
what is this?
It's nothing. It's nothing too bad. I will say this.
Yeah, it's
Oh no, it's not.
I do not see unless like someone like comes down. Like I don't even see anyone coming down from Cup. He would try. So like I don't. I honestly I don't think there will be anyone running the 5 unless we get like some random surprise.
I mean, who knows, man? Who knows? Another bit of silly season news, and this is actually kind of big because I don't think this is really something that any of us three really anticipated. But she left after 2024, or at least midway through the 2024 season, was absent from the NASCAR scene all throughout last year. But in 2026, Hailie Deegan returns to the NASCAR scene for Bill McAnally Racing in the ARCA West Series. So basically, she's back where it all began.
Let's hope the second run is actually going to stick because we were all high on Hailie Deegan because she was the best. She's one of the big things that came out of ARCA. She signed with I forgot what team she signed with trucks.
She signed with DGR and ARCA, and then the next year got moved up to trucks.
She showed some promise, like not a whole lot. Like she was a star, and they do 3 years in trucks, 3 years to try to show something. Now last year she was at ThorSport. The last year she was at ThorSport. They gave her a shot.
Yep.
Didn't work out. Did not work out as well. Then somehow she got moved up to Xfinity the year afterwards, and then left half the rest of the season.
Yeah.
So
I think also maybe the last name probably had like a lot of pressure because of obviously Brian Deegan. You know, like how successful he was in motocross and whatever else he was doing.
I think he was doing some of that. What is
Wasn't he doing like the Baja racing?
Yeah, he was doing a lot of the Baja racing too.
So it's like obviously as successful as Brian Deegan was, and obviously the brand that he had of Metal Militia. You know, now obviously you got another Deegan going into racing. So it's like I think it was like a lot of pressure. Obviously, like another good example was Earnhardt Sr. and then here comes Junior.
Yeah.
Obviously you have a lot of shoes to fill. And I think this time now around that, maybe she's got all her eggs in the basket and can actually focus this time.
I feel like in a
On
few
her.
years. Sorry to cut you off.
Oh no, you're good.
I was about to say in a few years we're going to be talking about the same way with Brexton Bush, Keelan Harvick, and what's his name? Is it Shay?
Cash Boyer.
Cash Boyer. Thank you. I knew it started with a C. I couldn't think of it. I kept thinking Chase. I'm like, no, it's not Chase.
Yeah.
Not Chase.
I mean, we were talking about it like when Chase Elliott was coming up, like almost 15 years ago, what seems like. But, we now know the status that he has clearly established for himself over the years leading up to this point. But for somebody like Hailie, on the other hand, I am desperately hoping that this second stint, here's my first thing that I'm really hoping for. Number one, I'm really hoping that she races the exact same way that she did in her first stint in the ARCA West series, because the West seemed like the best for her. No, I mean, that's funny of how that rhymed, but if you go back and you watch how she performed in 2018 and in 19, in those 2 years, you would see just exactly how good Hailie was in those 2 years. And then I'm pretty sure it must have been her sponsor, Monster Energy, that wanted to see her move up to ARCA, which she did. Signed on with DGR Crossley, who was then switching to Fords at the time, or maybe they were already a Ford team at that point. But
I think they were already Fords.
Were they? Okay. But yeah, they were a Ford team, which Hailie didn't do bad in ARCA. Like, she didn't.
No.
The problem that I feel she had in the top ARCA level was the competition in ARCA at that point was starting to get very, very stale. And you could easily point out who were the front runners. You had Vetcherini, you had DGR Crossley, you had Joe Gibbs Racing at that time, when they were and still are running an ARCA, and several other, teams in the ARCA series. But you could mainly point out those three that were easily up front all week, every race, week in, week out. However many races that ARCA does every 2 months. But I'm pretty sure part of the reason why I think a lot of the hype for Hailie Deegan just completely fell off was, again, her sponsor, Monster, wanted to see her move up, and she was moving up way too fast.
Yeah.
You go from ARCA, which really had no hard racing at a lot of places, like some of the 1.5 mile and 2 mile tracks, to then all of a sudden you're in a series where nobody can really get away from each other. They're all racing very aggressive with one another, that being the truck series. And I really feel like that was a huge, huge, huge change for Hailie. And she just couldn't keep up, and she really wasn't, living up to the expectations that I think a lot of us had over the years. And then she went to Thor Sport, which we thought was going to be great, but obviously it turned out to be the exact same as it was with her stint with DGR Crossley. Then moved up to Xfinity, which I think the 2 years prior, when she had her one-off with SS Greenlight Racing at Vegas, she did well. Very well. Finished 13th in that event.
Yeah.
But that hype, in my mind, at least for me, when she moved up to Xfinity, was like, okay, she's going up to Xfinity, kind of, there's a difference between the Xfinity car and the Craftsman truck. So
I will say the equipment that she's in, I think it was Our Motors. That was Our Motorsports, kind of.
It was AM. It was AM Racing.
Oh, it was AM.
And the problem with AM Racing was, and it was pretty clear to see, is like she wanted to go out and win races, and I'm pretty sure AM Racing's goal was the same, but their visions and their ideas just were not aligning. thus obviously leading to some of the results that Hailie had, which caused her to have her get the boot and have other Cup drivers like Joey Logano, Josh Berry, just to name a few, get into that seat. And we saw a massive difference.
Can I point out an irony
Yeah.
real quick? That car you mentioned, it was like the lowest in point. I think it still finished low in points in Xfinity Series that year. And then we come up to last year with Harrison Burton in the car, and it made the playoffs.
Which, in my mind, but again, I'm not saying this is the fault of the team or the driver, or I don't know. I don't know what it could have been, but to be honest, I just don't think AM Racing and Hailie Deegan really mixed at that point. I mean, it showed very, very clearly as the season progressed leading up to Hailie's exit. But seeing other drivers, including Harrison Burton, have the miracle run that they had last year, I mean, I'm pretty sure. I mean, AM Racing must have gotten their priorities right or something. I don't know. Whatever it was, all of a sudden they're performing just as consistently as they did with Brett Moffitt.
I just thought of something.
Go back
to the Chuck series and we talk about the number 5.
Okay.
I just thought of a name. I was looking through my list of drivers because I was just curious, and I look at a certain number that someone just got the boot from not that long ago. Big Machine Racing.
Oh, Nick Sanchez.
Yeah.
Really? I mean,
he's the one. He's the only driver that still has not had a ride yet. I haven't heard nothing about him skipping this season or what, but I could see. It's like he's the only name I think he hasn't gotten a ride yet, or Daytona's just 1 week, like a couple weeks away. I mean, that's a name on top of my head. That'd be one of the first people if Tony Breidinger is going to be doing that part time. I mean, he's a playoff driver. He's an Xfinity winner.
Yeah.
And I know one other thing that we didn't put on there on our little bulletin board thing, but the race for the seat.
Okay.
Which I admit I was kind of skeptic of it, obviously because of the name of the show for it. But it is actually worth watching. It's roughly like 45 minutes long. But tonight they just had their second episode. And they brought these guys to race on go-karts. And what it is they have obviously 15 drivers from, some that are road course kind of racers. I forgot what the old school one, late model.
They've got that, but I mean, I think that second episode, the thumbnail from what I've seen, they were driving those little Legends cars.
That's what it is, the Legend ones. That's actually the first episode that they had them racing. And they did kind of like heat lap times, and they separated them into 3 different groups. The M class was the slower. The A was, in the middle, and the R class was obviously the fastest.
Yeah.
And you know why they did that. It spells out Ram.
That's funny.
But, it is, and they take the top 3, the winners of each of the, R class, the M class, and the A class, and they have them race. The winner of that gets $5,000. And obviously they got points that they got throughout thing. And whoever has the most points, well, they get that seat.
Yeah.
So, first 2 episodes have actually been worth watching.
I'm even looking at the list of drivers that are in here contending for this spot. Like, we have some drivers I don't think I've ever heard of before, like Austin Beers. I've heard of Mike Christopher Jr., Minnie Tyrell, Cody, the Kelly twins, the Kelly brothers, Cody and Casey, Carson Ferguson, Cade Brown, Ryan Jamel, Chase Burrow, Jonathan Cash, Tanner Reef. Did we remember Tanner Reef?
Sounds familiar.
Tanner Reef, if I remember correctly, he raced, I think, a couple of events at Knoxville. I think this is when the Truck Series was still racing on Bristol Dirt and then Knoxville in the same year. So I believe that's what he did. But we also have a pretty well-known name in the late model division. Landon Huffman is amongst the drivers that are contending for this spot. Grant Greisbach, Jared Fryer, and Trevor Ward. That is your 15 driver roster that is duking it out for the number 14 spot.
Because didn't they have Toyota up in the Cup Series before, or was it just the lower series?
The earliest that they would have had Toyota and NASCAR would have been 2004 in the Truck Series. They didn't bring Toyota up to like Xfinity or Cup until 2007.
Yeah, don't mind me.
Anything else that we do want to add on before we move on to our next little topic?
I guess we can talk about the all the people who will be racing at Daytona. They'll confirm their attempts to make the Daytona 500, and not just that, but all the people who are driving in the Daytona race by the season. I guess we can start with this guy. Corey LaJoy will be doing double duty in the Daytona weekend. He will be driving the 75 for Henderson Motorsports in the Truck Series, but will also qualify for the Daytona 500, or try to, I should say, in the number 99 as a fourth Roush Fenway Keselowski car.
Hmm.
There we go.
I'd say as a big Carl Edwards fan, it's good to see that Roush 99 back. And
Yeah,
they're
just gonna keep it off the fence.
Okay. Okay. Anyways, he's going to be doing both of those. Another name on here, I saw it to keep scrolling back and forth for this. Chandler Smith will be also attempting to make the Daytona 500 in a fourth front row car. He will be in the 36 Ford. Another name, I know there's another one on here. No, this ain't a Daytona, but Ross Chastain will be driving the 32 for select races for Jordan Anderson.
Yep.
I mentioned that, but Burt Myers will be in the 50 for the Clash. This upcoming Clash.
No, please, if that's the case, now please, let's hope to dear Jesus that Burt Myers does not do exactly what he did last year and drive down into the nose of Stenhouse and take himself out.
But it wouldn't be called the Madhouse for no reason.
But no, you look at the replay, it looked like he did it on purpose. Because remember, he was the grand marshal for the main event. I kid you not. He was the grand marshal for the main event. Like, if you don't believe me, like, go back. He's amongst some of the people that gave the command to start the engines for the main event. Just minutes after he intentionally turned down in front of Ricky Stenhouse Jr.'s nose, heading into turn 1 to take himself out.
And one more name to put on here. Travis Pastrana is back. He will be driving the 42 for Daytona.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He is racing Daytona, isn't he?
Strada's getting tired of 2 wheels, rather try it with 4.
Just don't flip it. That's the only thing we're kind of hoping for.
Oh, we can't promise anything. He has his Nitro Circus.
Why do I just imagine now? I just imagine now Travis Pastrana at his circus driving a Nice Motorsports truck down a ramp and trying to do a jump with it. Can you imagine a full 3,500 pound stock truck doing a backflip?
I can see him doing it. Not gonna lie.
I could imagine it too, man. That would be, I would pay to watch that, honestly.
Or you get like a big piece of land, obviously, that has asphalted or some sort. You have a late model, a Legends car, a Craftsman truck, Xfinity car, and a Cup car, all trying to do a backflip.
No, listen, that would kind of be the recipe of, hi, I'm Travis Pastrana, and yeah, I have all these cars, and we're gonna do a jump with them. Welcome to Jackass.
On the newest episode of 1001 Ways to Die. Oh my God. But yeah, no, honestly, I could see somebody from Nitro Circus trying to do a backflip in a Craftsman truck. Anyway.
Well, do we want to go over the 2026 schedule? Because that's something I feel like we should have done last week.
There is one thing I do want to talk about on that. And nothing's been full on confirmed, but there's been talk. There's been big talks about it.
Okay.
The Roval might be no more. I was heard, and even Eric Eastep has put it on his deal. Announcement probably going to be later on this week, but there's a high chance for Charlotte. We're going to do 2 oval races this year, and I think the Roval might be done. Like, I'm not sure that's full on confirmed, but I know, like, heard like rumors that the Roval will not be racing. Will not be doing racing to it this year. We're going back to oval.
Well, can I be honest with that? If that is going to be confirmed, if that already is confirmed, thank God. Because
Amen.
The only reason why I say that is because I never really was a fan of the Roval even to begin with. When I first heard that Charlotte, especially back in 2017 when this was announced, that they were already working on the Roval, like, you know, because by the time that NASCAR came back around in 2017, they already had like the chicane on the infield already prepped and ready to go. They just had the rest of the track to really sort of shape and whatever else you needed to do there. I just was never really a fan of the Roval because, you know, it kind of just came up out of nowhere. I mean, I think on paper, an infield road course was a pretty cool idea, but to do it at Charlotte on a 1.5 mile racetrack where there's really not a lot of not a lot of room. It just, to me, it just didn't really seem right. If you did the Indianapolis road course, I could understand that, but we already know how that turned out. but besides that, I'm kind of excited if this is confirmed. If this is going to be confirmed, if that's a big if, I'm pretty excited to get back to 2 oval races at Charlotte.
Not to mention, like, Charlotte is one of the biggest, like, for the next gen car, it's one of the big competitive, like, track for the next gen car.
Yeah.
Like that Kansas, Vegas, all like mile and a half track are what's big for the next gen car. That's why I'm excited to go see Chicagoland.
Yeah.
Like that's gonna be huge on that. And that's just like I'm going to see the next gen cars raced on that.
Mhm.
I have big expectations, especially that being a mile and a half.
Actually, going off of what you were saying, Wyatt, I was just looking at it, Googling it, and this is apparently showing on the Charlotte Observer that the announcement should be coming in the next few weeks about the Roval being removed from the 2026 schedule.
So I guess we'll be keeping update on that. This is something I heard.
And it was released today.
The other thing I want to bring up, when it comes to the chase part of it now, we have all these mile and a half short tracks and one super speedway. We don't have a road course in the playoffs.
Yeah.
How do we kind of feel
You
on
mean
that?
the chase, not the
The chase.
playoffs.
Thank you.
Playoffs are
Thank
done.
you. It's going to get used.
Yeah,
It's going to be hard for me to get used to that. Okay. Remember, I started watching it religiously when it was the playoff format.
yeah.
So you have
Um,
to give me some breaks.
I actually don't mind not having a road course.
No, I don't mind at all.
But as it sits, before they even make an announcement or anything, the only road course technically is the Roval.
No,
in the
that
10
yeah.
race chase.
Oh yeah, that's just specifically talking chase reasons. Yeah.
No, yeah, just overall, I actually would be thrilled that there's no road courses in the chase.
Yeah. I would definitely agree with that because I'm content with there sort of being, especially in the chase, with there being no road courses. I'm also kind of okay with the idea of like a reduced number of road courses as well. Because what this is also telling me is NASCAR is not only willing to, diversify their schedule, but they're also willing to stay within the lines of tradition of some of the tracks that, we all loved and watched, on TV or in person growing up, like Chicagoland Speedway, for instance, like the fall oval race at Charlotte, and just, some of these other places that I don't think we've seen in a while. Nashville Super Speedway. We've always wondered what it would be like for NASCAR to go back to Nashville, and especially bring the Cup Series along. We finally got that 5 years ago. But that's what that's telling me though, is NASCAR is still willing to make changes to their schedule every year to make the schedule interesting, but also stay within the lines of tradition at the same time.
Now, I think we mentioned this last week, but can we get a petition going to take the All-Star race away from Dover?
Yes, like
Please,
that.
please,
That
please.
That's the biggest. That is probably the stupidest decision we've had in the schedule so far.
Like,
why?
I don't
Dover?
know who's the guy that made the schedules, but you need to fire him. Fire him for making the phone call to Dover and say, hey, we like to host the All-Star race at your facility. Clink.
That's like saying, hey, we're going to put the All-Star race at the road course in Daytona or the Roval.
Yeah, no, it just doesn't work. It's either that. Well, it's either you put the All-Star race, I mean, like you mentioned, give it to Rockingham. You mentioned that last week.
Mhm.
Put it back at Charlotte. Don't put it back at Texas at all.
Oh, God.
Don't do that.
I would take Dover over Texas. Sorry.
I mean, and there was a year, I mean, especially back at the beginning, like the second year of the All-Star race in the mid 80s. You remember the 1 year, there was 1 year where NASCAR didn't have the All-Star race at Charlotte. They instead held it at Atlanta, but then went back to Charlotte and they held it there ever since 2021 or no, 2020 rather.
See, that is something I wouldn't mind seeing again. Like, especially with the cars now. Why don't we bring back get 3 Charlotte races again? Like the All-Star race be back at Charlotte again, especially with this next gen car.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Here's the thing though. If we do that, where would Dover be on the schedule? Because like it's pretty stacked.
Anywhere.
Yeah, you could literally put it anywhere but All-Star Weekend. Dover, I think, is a track that's good enough to be anywhere on the schedule.
What would replace it? Like what should be a track that should replace? Should like the second Echo, like a second Echo Park?
No.
Atlanta.
No.
Now,
Hear me out.
Now hold on. Now you're correcting me about it being Atlanta now after I said Echo Park. Now you're doing it this week.
Okay.
Yeah.
But wait.
Asshole.
Hear me out. Hear me out when I say this. All-Star race at Martinsville.
Ooh.
If you want to keep the All-Star race at a short track, Martinsville, in my opinion, is your best go-to. We already have the Clash at Bowman Gray. So why not? Why not keep that tradition of the All-Star race at a short track going by putting it at Martinsville?
Because
We already did have it at Bristol.
Yeah. The one at Bristol, though, honestly sucked. Really, really bad.
I mean, the baseball game at Bristol, I think, was probably more interesting.
Right? Yeah, but no, I just didn't work at Bristol I don't know why. I don't know why. Like, I mean, Bristol, like the All-Star race on Bristol at Bristol on paper sounded like awesome. But it's because of what NASCAR has done with Bristol over the years, and especially with the Gen 6 at the time. I don't know how they would have possibly thought that any of the stuff that they had done over the years, especially leading up to that point, was even going to work. Was even going to at least fit to be like, oh my goodness, this is like the best thing we've ever seen. Oh my God. LED lights underneath the cars to signify just exactly, the manufacturer. Oh my God. What a great idea. Oh, wait, but also put the numbers towards the rear wheels. Wow. We never thought of that before. Now, have we?
I will be completely honest. I'm one of the minority. I actually kind of dig the lights because they were trying something new, trying to be something different. I saw that, but I hated with the number placement.
I was about to say, are you the minority that loved the number placement? Because that looks terrible.
I hated the number placement. No. I hated that.
The LED lights.
I love the LED lights. I love what they did there.
Yeah.
But I hated
the LED lights, honestly, like I will agree. The LED lights I think were pretty cool. we might have gone over all the stories, right?
I
Believe
believe
so.
so. I mean, I know they put out the format for the Clash, but I don't think that's worth mentioning.
Which I'm pretty sure is similar to last year.
Last year.
So with that
Yeah.
said, ladies and gentlemen, we have finally made it to this point for the first time in 2026. So let's go ahead and preview the Clash at Bowman Gray. Gentlemen, like I said, we have finally made it to this point. It took us a week, but we're here. Going into this weekend for the Clash of Bowman Gray, seeing what we saw last year with the heats and then the LCQs being absolutely just on fire when it comes to the short track product. And then the main event, which was, in my opinion, kind of lackluster because all it was follow the leader pretty much wherever he may go. What do you think we might see for this year's Clash at Bowman Gray?
I think it might still be follow the leader.
Hmm.
Just because of obviously how short it is, and it's like how many cars they gonna have? Obviously in the main.
Probably 20, 21.
For me, I don't really have a say. Like I mentioned, I did not even watch the Clash last year. That thing I was working, but I'll be able to tune into it this year.
Because when they first brought it, I was actually looking forward to see who was going to get out of the car, drag somebody else out of the car, and start going to town on them.
Oh,
In
dude.
typical Madhouse fashion.
We had that. I think the biggest thing that the biggest one that pops into my head was Ty Gibbs. I forgot who he did this to. But do you remember, like, after I think it was the LCQ, he ran into somebody heading off the track and like into like the outfield, and his car just bunny hopped into the air. That is exactly what I was talking about right there.
It's because the spin that happened. Yeah, they were going at it right here.
Yeah, and then Ty just loses it and then comes back and hits him in the door.
I kind of forgot about that.
And look at the side of Hailie's car.
It doesn't look that bad.
Nope. But you can see.
Yeah, you see exactly where the car just took off into the air.
And the work they're trying to do to Ty's car.
Oh my goodness. Like, it's like, look at it from this angle. Just bam.
Nope. You know what? It looks like that he literally got all 4 tires off.
I think he was fully airborne. If we rewind it a little bit more, like, it looked like he was fully airborne. Yeah, wait, like
No.
Like three cars.
He was pulling a Lightning McQueen.
I can see it.
Yeah, I can see it.
All you just need is the eyes and the tongue, and it's just like it's like the emo version of Lightning McQueen.
McQueen made it through.
And for everybody that's listening on the Spotify end, you must watch the YouTube side so you could see what we are talking about here.
Pause it. Hold on. Put up the little,
It is on pause.
little number. I know, but go to 51 seconds and pause it. You will understand.
It looks like he's winking.
It does look like he's winking right there.
It kind of does. I didn't even notice that, actually.
Definitely like the McQueen fashion, right?
But I would definitely have to agree, though, when it comes down to the product of the main event, there is definitely going to be a lot of choo-choos,
Beating and banging.
beating and banging for sure, but like also like follow the leader and shit. But you know, just in my honest opinion, I just really don't. I don't have as much faith in like the main event as we all probably would have last year when we first heard about NASCAR going to Bowman Gray. But the heats and the LCQs, oh my goodness, those are going to be a show. Yeah, I'm highly expecting those to put on a really good show. Alrighty. I think with that said, gentlemen, for the first time in 2026, we're going to be going ahead and we are going to be making our predictions for the 2026 Clash at Bowman Gray. For those that may not know, dude, what's up?
We didn't even do this, the schedule preview, really.
We didn't really.
We just did the Clash.
We just did the Clash. But for those that are new to the show, here's exactly how we make our predictions. We give you a driver who we think is going to win. That's pretty self-explanatory. The driver to stay away from is the driver that hasn't been doing well the last couple of races, or we're just coming up to a track where they might not perform all that well at all. In this case, it's the beginning of the season, so we have no idea what kind of momentum a lot of these drivers are going to be carrying into this year. And the dark horse is the exact opposite. So it could be literally anybody that we probably may not have talked about a whole lot. All of a sudden, there they are into the mix. So again, sort of echoing off of our driver to stay away from point. We have no clue just exactly what kind of momentum these drivers are going to be bringing into this year.
Speaking of points, I know we talked about months ago, but are we actually going to be bringing that back? We actually going to be keeping point of our predictions?
I think we could do it. Yeah. We could do it. So this is going to be Sly's first time doing this, but
it's just like Wyatt's first time with the chase. How about that?
You right?
Yeah, but as far as we remember, I am the defending champion of the
predictions. Yeah, the prediction points. So here's how that works. Here's how that points format works. It is the 1 point. You get the 1 point for your driver to win if they actually do win. For your driver to stay away from, they have to finish, say in a 40 car field, they have to finish 21st or worse in order for this to count. Dark horse is 21st or better. The point also counts if they win. So that adds up to 3 points for the race.
But with that, we have to pick each deal one.
Now here's my question. With that, is it just one series or
this is for all three?
So like a total of 9 points.
A total of so a total of 9 points for every weekend. 3, 6, 9, depending on how many divisions are running on each weekend.
That's why I just wanted to get clarification.
But for the lower series, and we've made this rule for people who has actually won in the cup level. When it gets to one of the lower series, if a winner, like if you choose a person like Kyle Busch going Xfinity Series or
Larson.
O'Reilly's or Larson, yes, if they go in there, that's a half point.
Yep.
Okay.
And I think for stay away drivers, we made it to where it's like has to be like an actual. I think now it's more competitive, so it's not as bad. But like for driver stay away, you can't keep doing like Cody Ware.
Yeah. In other words, you can't. If the only way that this probably wouldn't count is you can't do back marker teams every single week. It has to be drivers that are struggling.
So yeah, no
You
Frank. So
already
yeah,
know
no
where I'm
Frank.
getting
No,
at with that.
no Frankie Muniz. No Frankie.
No Frankie Muniz this time. Now you got to make your predictions interesting.
Once in a while. Once in a while, yeah, but like not every single.
Could you tell
And
why I was biting the inner part of my hand?
yes,
when
I
you're
know. Yes,
talking? I'm like,
yes, I know. Yes, I know. That's another reason why I
We're
brought that
we're
rule up
keeping
too.
that
I
in.
know.
We are keeping that in the episode.
That's another reason why I brought that specific thing in. So no Frankie Muniz every single week.
Frankie, you are one lucky son of a bitch.
That was too good. That was way too good.
Oh my god.
Okay.
I think Slifer's like, okay, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this one anymore because I can't pick Frankie Muniz every week.
Okay.
Damn it! I can't do Frankie Muniz. This ain't gonna be fun for me anymore.
There went my game plan.
There go those free points.
Right? Like, why the hell is Slifer in the lead so much?
Oh, wait a minute. He kept choosing
Who's your-
Frankie.
It's like,
Yeah, you can't
who's your
do.
driver
Yeah.
to stay away from? No, you can't pick it.
That's gonna. I
Okay,
feel like this is
now,
gonna be me and
here's my
Elijah's
question
biggest
about that.
joy.
Yeah.
Here's my question about that. Is there a certain amount of races where I can't say, example, pick Frankie Muniz?
That's why I was saying like it can't be like I know like back to. I'd say like every. I'd say maybe every once in a while. What do you say?
You could probably do it once every month.
Okay. God damn it.
So my thing is like for me, I just go like some of the bigger names. I know
Well,
would probably struggle at
damn, there goes
track.
Cole Custer too. Shit.
Riley Herbst fits in that.
Who
Riley
was
Herbst
your,
fit in
who
there
was
too.
your who was your pick last year a lot in the what was known as Xfinity, Elijah?
Mine? Brandon
Yeah, who was
Jones.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I mean, Brandon Jones. Here's the thing: compare Brandon Jones to some like one of the other people. Like that's not a terrible like Brandon Jones. Yeah, he's more. I don't know. He's not as Brandon Jones ain't as bad as a person like uh now going to be Austin Green or Josh Williams.
No.
That's always in the back. Like a Brandon Jones can actually run up front every now and then. Like, him is like that one. That one's actually so it's an okay one. But like Blaine Perkins, sorry to mention you, but Jeremy Clements, Bretzloff, Alfredo with the I mean Viking could show me up. I don't know. I don't know how Viking Motorsports is going to go. Maybe they may get better than last year. I don't know, but
Yeah.
well, yeah,
We're gonna start doing that at when Daytona starts.
yeah, yeah. I mean Daytona is everyone. I think that's kind of a good freebie one.
Yeah, the super speedway
Anyone can win
races are kind of like the freebie because you have no idea who's going to be up front in any of those.
Yeah. But it's like a certain the main oval type track. Like for certain is like that's you gotta give yourself a little bit more of a challenge
Yeah.
than just trying to say that name over and over and over.
Okay.
And that is the exact reason why I mentioned that. That reaction right there.
We're not gonna show exactly what Sly did on camera, but you can imagine him show. You can imagine how much Sly thinks White is number one.
Yeah. Pinky. He's not even worth the full one.
All right, so let's get these predictions underway. Just remember, as a review, driver to win, driver to stay away from, and then our dark horse. 1 point for each category correct, or each category that, you know, fits the threshold, really, to be more specific. With that said, as he bites his lip, Slifer is up first.
Are we picking just Bowman Gray race or?
Yes.
or what?
Just the main.
Just Bowman Gray.
Just Bowman Gray.
All right. Well, I'm going to start with dark horse.
Hey, you're still on my method.
I'm sorry. Who's talking? Anyway, I'm going to go with the newcomer. I'm going to take Connor Zillich.
I like that.
Okay, I can't use him, until next month, but stay away from. It's going to be Custer. I'm going to use my one time a month. Driver to win. This is going to be quite a shocker. I'm going to pick Logano.
Really?
You're trying to be on my bad side, aren't you? You're trying to get payback.
Oh yeah. Don't worry, we got 36 races.
Well, here's another thing to point out, especially back in the days of the NASCAR pit stop show. We remember the rivalry between Wyatt Walker and Sean Ard. Well, now we have one between Wyatt and Slifer. Wyatt is just starting rivalries left and right.
Except I haven't tried to ask him for money for all my points yet, but if he starts using my method, I might anyways.
You might start charging him at this rate every week. I mean, hell, Sean is on another show. You could start charging him from there. So I mean,
that's one of the main reasons I miss Sean Ard, because he owes me money.
I can start charging you for using my items in Phasmophobia. I really want to go there.
All right. Well, Wyatt, you are up next.
This is already starting to be a good year. I can tell you this right now, y'all. This is going to be a good year.
This is going to be awesome.
All right. My dark horse, I'm going to bring his name back again. We're at a short track. We got one great short track guys. And I think this year he's going to show up. He had a fantastic year last year. So close to making the playoffs. Ryan Preece.
Oh.
What was that? What was?
Flyer miles.
I mean, this ain't Daytona. It's at a short track. He'll be on the ground. Unless
did you just see what Ty did?
Yeah, but that's Ty Gibbs, and we'll see about that. Well, yeah. First off, Ryan Preece. I'm gonna my driver to stay away from. Gotta go with I gotta go Bubba Wallace. I think I'm gonna go Bubba Wallace. I don't think he's a really good short track guy. I think he's gonna have another good year. I really think he's gonna have another good year. He won Indy last year, had a great run in the playoffs last year, but I do not see him starting out good with running in the Clash. So I'm picking Bubba Wallace as my stay away driver.
Okay.
My driver to win, I feel like this one might be way too obvious, but he's our 2021 and 2025 champion, and I think he's going to start the year off with another bang, another win. Kyle Larson.
Looking up to Stapleton now, are we?
If I ain't kissing him, Stapleton. If I could have gone biased and said my boy here, but I'm going realistic. And also Larson is pretty damn good on almost every single track he's at. Road course and short tracks. That momentum for being champion last year, that's gonna show up, and I think he's gonna win the Clash.
All right. Well, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, it all comes down to me. It's my turn.
Run away.
For the first time in 2026.
Lady is gonna pick. He shaved the stash.
Well, funny you say that because Ryan Blaney is actually going to be my driver to win. And it's just not out of bias here because I'm a Penske guy. You liar. This is also... It's also because Blaney finished second last year, and had his tires not, completely went out on him, had that not happened, and also had he continued to run down Chase Elliott, he probably could have easily passed him and went on to win the Clash last year. He could have very easily beat out Chase Elliott had his tires not gone out on him. So I'll say Ryan Blaney is going to be my driver to win this year. My driver to stay away from, I'm going to agree with Bubba Wallace on this one. I will 100% agree with Bubba Wallace. Bubba Wallace on short tracks, especially from what we've seen in previous years, just don't mix. It's almost like Bubba has a love-hate relationship, if you will, with short tracks. At least that's from what I'm seeing. So Bowman Gray, I don't really think is going to be any different. My dark horse, on the other hand. Say what you want. You could agree with me. You could also disagree with me. But you might more so agree with me. I'm going to say Chris Buescher's my dark horse. Yeah, because when you think about it, Buescher has been consistent all year last year. That even includes a lot of the short tracks that we've been on. Probably some good top 5s, good top 10s here and there. He's had good performances. Sure, there's probably some races where the results don't really speak for the performance, but you can't deny he's done well at tracks like Martinsville, Bristol, Richmond, North Wilkesboro, even Bowman Gray.
He's won Bristol 4 years ago.
Yeah, in 22. So I'm going to say, give me Chris Buescher as my dark horse. But all right, ladies and gentlemen, we've pretty much done everything that we need to do. We've sort of reviewed the Rolex 24. We've gone over our breaking stories with Tony Breidinger and Hailie Deegan and their, silly season news, the possibilities of the Roval being done away with this year, which we'll figure that out maybe in a few weeks' time. And then previewed the Clash at Bowman Gray and made our predictions. So one final question that I have.
And broke Cypher's heart about Frankie Muniz.
Yes. So one final question. Any final thoughts before we get the Bowman Gray weekend underway?
NASCAR's back, y'all. Let's get back to race.
That's what he said.
Well, with that said, I think this is a good spot to put a bow on this episode of Gamers Talk NASCAR. Want to thank you guys not only for listening on Spotify, but also watching on the 11 Podcasts YouTube channel. If you guys like what you see, be sure to hit the like button and also be sure to subscribe, and so that way you don't miss future episodes of not just this show, but 11 o'clock I know behind the scenes, we've talked about Grand Slam potentially coming back. We still need to get those weeds hashed out, if you will. But also, if you're listening to this on Spotify, be sure to hit that follow button so you don't miss future episodes that drop every Thursday night at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, not just here on Spotify, but also on the 11 Podcast YouTube channel at the same time at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Slifer and my co-host Wyatt Walker, I'm Elijah Leonard signing out. Enjoy the racing that we're about to witness this weekend, and we'll catch you guys on the very next episode of Gamers Talk NASCAR.
Nope.
Thanks for listening to tonight's episode of Gamers Talk NASCAR. Really hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to hit that follow button so you don't miss a future episode throughout the NASCAR season. And as always, we'll catch you on the next one every Thursday night at 6 p.m. Eastern Time.